Why do we talk about this tiny, small, cute little sparrows? So, do they have a role to play in the ecosystem balance? Are they really up to something? What if they go extinct? What if we do not hear their beautiful chirping sounds anymore? This tiny little bird is giving a serious warning about the impact of human activities. What is it that we can do? We can spill the leftover grains. Every day, we can put some bird feed outside in our balconies, in our open spaces, in our terraces, and whatever grains are spoiled, let's not put them safely in the dustbin and close it. Rather, spill those grains in open areas, in grounds, and terraces, and balconies, and wherever. And don't expect results overnight that you spill the grains today and you expect tomorrow morning they would come and eat. So let's dive into protecting our wings of hope, protecting our house sparrows, and of course, safeguarding sparrows will definitely bring in balance in the nature. So I want you to pay attention to this picture. What do you see here? Yes, what do you see here on the screen? A majestic tiger, isn't it? So and this is an iconic dolphin. Well, we've been hearing and we've been ourselves rallying a lot for tiger protection under Project Tiger and also saving these iconic dolphins, which are an indicator of the marine ecosystem health. So there are a lot of marine conservation efforts that talk about conservation of dolphins and talk about tigers, which are apex predators, because we really know that once a tiger is gone, the habitat is under threat. It speaks about the extinction of habitat, the destruction of the ecological balance in a habitat, and a dolphin would indicate the health of the waters, sometimes marine waters and sometimes fresh waters. And well, why do we talk about this tiny, small, cute little sparrows? So, do they have a role to play in the ecosystem balance? Are they really up to something? What if they go extinct? What if we do not hear their beautiful chirping sounds anymore? Well, what do you think? What do you think, guys? Should we only rally for protecting tigers? Okay, Bengal tigers, white tigers, and freshwater dolphins and marine dolphins. Why should we rally for sparrows? Because every species in this web of life counts. Okay, a tiger disappearing would also mean a lot, and a house sparrow disappearing will also, in very unpredictable ways, hit the ecological balance. So every species counts in the web of life, and house sparrow right now is homeless. So this talk is a small attempt to conserve this cute little sweet species, house sparrows. Well, can anyone guess why the name house sparrow? Why don't we just call it a sparrow? Why is it a house sparrow? So, the chirping of birds is the song of nature, a melody we should never allow to fade away. House sparrows are called house sparrows for a reason, because they love to stay around our houses, around human settlements. Okay, and hence the name house sparrows. However, they bear the scientific name Passer domesticus, and sparrows have been an inseparable part of human settlements for centuries. In fact, there's a very interesting fossil evidence from Bethlehem caves which dates back to more than 4 lakh years ago. So, this fossil evidence states that humans and sparrows have coexisted. They have existed together. And also, sparrows have starch friendly genes. So, which indicates that as agriculture evolved, sparrows, humans, and dogs have stayed together always. So, we know so much about the love for dogs, and humans and dogs have existed together since many years, and even sparrows have always been a part of human settlements. Well, in India, the chirping of birds is a very familiar sound, and we always used to see them, be it in either bustling cities or quiet villages. House sparrow was a very common sight, but that sight has now become a rarity. We hardly hear its sound. There's something called a silent city syndrome. We no more hear the chirping of the birds and these spaces have become absolutely silent in terms of being able to listen to the bird sounds. Okay, they are disappearing. And why are they disappearing? Because of rapid urbanization. There is an unprecedented race at which urbanization is happening. Unplanned cities and towns are coming up, and their habitats are being destroyed, and the ever changing human lifestyles. We will delve into all these reasons as we progress through the talk. And the disappearance of sparrows is giving us a silent warning. This tiny little bird is giving a serious warning about the impact of human activities that are having on the biodiversity. Well, most of us have seen sparrows, but I would like to emphasize on their size and weight just because a recent study in 2021 shows that among the surveyed audience, 10% of the younger population has never seen a sparrow. They have never heard a sparrow. So, and hence, I would like to emphasize that they are cute little species which are the size of a tennis ball. Their size is about 14 to 16 centimeters and their average weight is about 26 to 32 grams. Mind you, 26 to 32 grams. They're such tiny species and they have a huge love for urban spaces and they have a peculiar behavior of dust bathing and water bathing. So, what do? It's interesting to note that most of you must have seen also. They dig a small hole in the dust or sand. They sit in it and they flicker their wings. They flicker the dust onto their bodies. They do it in the dust and they do it in water also. Also, the sparrows are songbirds. Those sweet, cute chirping that they do. Some families and some cultures believe that they bring in prosperity and positivity into the spaces where they stay. They chirp in groups of 8 to 10. They are always in flocks of birds. Well, what is the habitat that they choose? They love to stay in places which have been modified by humans. For example, farms, residential spaces, urban spaces, and earlier they would use thatched roofs, lofts, sunshades, kitchen exhaust holes, etc. to build their nest because they love to stay as close to humans as possible. But right now, the kind of building architecture that is evolving, all the glass facades that are coming up are no more giving any space for the tiny bird to stay. Also, garden trees are an excellent place for them to nest. And what do they eat? It's interesting. They eat oats. They eat sorghum, they eat all kinds of millets, bajra, ragi, etc. And they feed on waste grain seeds and animal feedstock. Also, it's important to note that they feed on larvae of mosquitoes. Okay, that way they control mosquito population very well. And they also feed on butterflies and garden chuck. Chuck, chuck, chuck is how they eat. They move around, they keep hopping, they don't walk. They either fly or they hop around. Well, as I mentioned, they maintain ecological balance very well, and hence the importance of house sparrows because they form an important part in the food chain and food web. Like how apex predators like tigers, lions, and cheetahs keep the other prey in sufficient populations. That's how they control insect populations. If sparrows vanish, there will be insect population explosion and all kinds of diseases that would come in. Also, there's very interesting situation that happened in New York City in 1850s. There was a green inch worm crisis which was destroying thousands of trees in the New York Central Park. And scientists tried a lot of different means to control this phenomena, but nothing worked until they introduced house sparrow into the park. They introduced it at the Brooklyn University and subsequently at the parks, and it has created magic in restoring the tree health and in controlling the green inch worm crisis. So, as I told you, they feed on lava, which is predominantly present on stagnant water, which are otherwise not accessible to humans. These sparrows feed on that lava and they control pests. They are natural pest controls. So, the heavy use of insecticides and pesticides is actually killing the food of sparrows, and they're also excellent pollination supporters. All of us know what pollination is, right? So transfer of pollen to the female part of the flower, and you know the story. So these birds go from branch to branch and from flower to flower, and they are excellent pollination supporters. If house sparrows become extinct, this pollination will also largely get affected. And yes, they bring in prosperity. It's not just a belief, but if you experience yourself the kind of the sweet chirping sounds that they do, you will realize it yourself that they bring a lot of positivity into the space where they stay. Also, if sparrows are not there in a particular ecosystem, it is an indication of ecological imbalance. In fact, disappearance of house sparrows is an early indication that the habitat is not healthy. It is not supportive even to humans. So, habitat degradation, air pollution, if the air quality index is coming down day by day, and too much use of chemicals and pesticides, and insect explosion will happen if sparrows are not conserved. In fact, highly populated, polluted cities like Delhi and Mumbai, studies have shown that there is a 75% decline from 1990s till today up to 2020s. In the last 2 decades, because of high pollution, there's a 75% decline in sparrow sightings in these two cities. Well, they also have a cultural and emotional significance. They've always been a part of our traditional folklore, poetry, and childhood memories for generations. And in an excellent conservation move, the Delhi government has declared house sparrow as the state bird in 2012. The then Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit is an ardent bird lover, and she declared house sparrow as the state bird of Delhi in 2012. And what did this really do? It inspired a lot of NGOs and citizen led movements to rally for sparrows, to save sparrows. For example, one notable achievement is by Nature Forever, which is an NGO that started the campaign Rise for Sparrows. They created massive citizen led movements in many cities, and thousands of bird boxes were distributed all across, which literally saw sparrows coming back to places where earlier they were totally absent. Well, even in Hyderabad, Animal Warriors Conservation Society is doing a phenomenal work, and they are leading a campaign called Bring Back Sparrows. It's interesting to note that Jaipur Development Authority has launched a project that is trying to revive all old architecture. If you see the Hawa Mahal and various forts of Jaipur, they have very sparrow friendly features. For example, there are holes in the architecture that actually help sparrows to build nests. So Jaipur Development Authority is encouraging to restore old architecture, and Punjab has launched Chidiya the Chamba initiative, and Gujarat has actually banned some harmful chemicals that are killing sparrows. They can no more be used in agriculture. And well, the numbers speak. Indian Council for Agricultural Research says that 60 to 80% sparrow population has declined in urban areas. And the Bombay Natural History Society says that 70% sparrows have declined since 1990s. Europe, which spearheads many conservation efforts, also says that since 1970s till 2020, there's a 71% decline in sparrow population. And it's not a surprise that sparrows have entered the red list of threatened species of IUCN. Well, most of us understand what red list is. For those of us who do not know, red list of threatened species is consortium of various species which need immediate attention. So there are various categories: critically endangered, endangered, and near threatened, least concerned, etc. So all the species that are nearing extinction or under threat go into this red list, and house sparrow has also entered the IUCN red list. Well, the silent city syndrome is entering into almost all the urban spaces where the natural bird sounds are not heard anymore. It's always the honking of vehicles. Only it is those sounds that are heard and not of any birds. So, well, why should we conserve sparrows? What if they're not there? What if they go extinct? What if a tiny bird vanishes from this environment? What really does happen? So, as I said, they are excellent supporters of pollination, and no sparrows means reduced pollination, and there is a weaker biodiversity. And also there is an immense or a tremendous explosion of insect population, and hence saving sparrows means saving biodiversity and creating a healthier urban environment. Well, what are the reasons for decline? Why did sparrow make its way into the red list of IUCN? One is definitely because of the loss of habitat. It doesn't have any more conducive nesting sites because of the evolving architecture that is not allowing them to have place where they can nest, where they can roost, where they can take shelter. So all the glass facades, all these fancy buildings do not have a place for them to stay. The old buildings had thatched roofs, sunshades, and kitchen lofts, etc., where they could stay. Also, food scarcity. This is very interesting. In the modern lifestyle, we tend to buy products like, for example, all the cereals and grains that are already processed and they're packed and ready to use. But in olden days, during my grandmother's time, we would all dry them on the roof and, spill over the rest of the grains, whichever is not useful, and then bring back and store for use. So, what happened when they were being dried on roofs and balconies? These sparrows would feed on these grains and survive. But now, even the street corner shops wouldn't process it anymore. It happens somewhere in the factory, and they're coming all packed, and hence there's no food. Unless the citizens are very conscious in spilling some grains, they do not have any food, and that's leading to their extinction. And a modern lifestyle is such that we don't share a symbiotic relationship with them anymore. So earlier, whenever there is a nest and there are eggs, we would wait for them to hatch, and we really enjoy their presence at home. But right now, if, for example, near an AC duct there is a bird that is nesting, we would find it unaesthetic and remove it immediately. So they don't have nesting sites anymore, and loss of tree canopy, and of course mobile tower radiation. Like many other side effects, we do not have evidence to prove it, but then studies suggest that they are impacting the immune system of sparrows and also impacting the reproductive health of sparrows. So this electromagnetic waves and the radiation that comes from mobile towers is also reducing their fertility. And it is shown that wherever there is 4G, 5G, and lot of towers, very few nesting sites are found, very few sparrows are found. And pollution and climate change, of course. So whenever there is use of unleaded petrol, there is a lot of methyl nitrate that's being produced, and that in turn is killing these birds. These tiny little birds are killed because of that methyl nitrate. Well, what can we do? What can people like you and me do? And how do we identify basically spaces that are friendly for sparrows and spaces that are unfriendly? Well, green spaces with lot of trees and shrubs that naturally supports any other being, like for example not just sparrows but any other species like butterflies or insects or bats. It naturally provides good shelter for sparrows as well. Also, there should be good availability of food and water. So we get those bathing bowls, and there are a variety of bird feeders now available in the market. Like you can go onto Amazon, and there are a lot of products. So you can buy one of those, hang them up in your balconies. And the traditional homes with ledges and holes were fantastic. They were very friendly for creating a nesting space for these sparrows. So, what are unfriendly spaces? Concrete jungles with no nesting spaces, and excessive and heavy use of pesticides and chemical use. These are actually killing sparrows because one thing is they are consuming, and also they are destroying the food of sparrows that would otherwise feed on the insects. And lack of water resources is also killing them. There are no water bowls, not just in summer, but any time they would need some water. All of us know how bad the water around us is right now. Even for dogs, for birds, be it any season, it's best to provide some form of drinking water to them. Well, sparrow conservation. Is it just enough that Delhi has declared it as the state bird? Well, yes, that is prompting many citizens to create safer spaces for sparrows to survive and thrive. Firstly, what is it that we can do? We can spill the leftover grains. Every day, we can put some bird feed outside in our balconies, in our open spaces, in our terraces, and whatever grains are spoiled, let's not put them safely in the dustbin and close it. Rather, spill those grains in open areas, in grounds, and terraces, and balconies, and wherever. And don't expect results overnight, that you spill the grains today and you expect tomorrow morning they would come and eat. away all. No, they would take time. They should know that there is a food source available there, and they should feel safe to come there. So it'll take time, but they will do come. And water bowls. So water bowls is not just for them to drink water, but they coming and playing in the water, bathing in the water is such a sight to behold. So you can really see that a flock of birds, three or four of them will come, sit in the water, play around the bowl. Why do we speak about, feeling lonely and things like that when these can happen right in your house? So they really bring in a lot of positivity. And also nests. You can create your own sparrow nest. It's very easy. And if you don't have that kind of a time, you can order it online, and there's a lot of DIY workshops that happen. You can create it out of plastic bottles, or old pots, shoe boxes. In fact, in Assam there was a very interesting project in a village where 60 houses made sparrow nests out of just shoe boxes. They just drilled a hole, and they hung it in a place where it doesn't rain. So you can make it out of coconut shells, bamboos. It's a very interesting DIY workshop. And well, if there is a nest already on an AC duct or in your balcony, please don't disturb them. So also reduce pesticide use, because studies indicate that a lot of birds are perching near field where there is organic cultivation. So it indicates that these sparrows are thriving in fields that are adopting to organic and natural farming practices. Also plant native trees and shrubs rather than crotons, even in your balconies. So those crotons definitely look good, low maintenance, but then they don't have branches, they don't flower, they don't bear fruit, and that doesn't provide any shelter or food to the birds. And hence it's always best to plant native trees and shrubs, and more importantly spread awareness about sparrow conservation, how sparrow can come back with just a common sparrow can come back with a common man enthusiasm and initiative. So just a mere mention of a few things that we can do to your friends, neighbors and family can help bring in sparrows back to the brink. Well, is it all grim stories, or are there any success stories? I mean, is Padmaja only speaking about how they declined, why they declined, what we are not doing, or is there anything that happened really well? Well, yes, Nature Forever Society is an NGO that launched World Sparrow Day on March 20th. Even at Rotary, we celebrate March 20th as World Sparrow Day. And we raise awareness as to why conserving sparrows is important. And thousands of sparrow nests have been distributed across the country in various Indian cities, and which have actually seen some good results. For example, Nashik railway station. Nashik, all of us understand that it is a bird watcher's paradise. A lot of bird lovers go there, and in Nashik railway station, sparrows return to these nesting boxes after 5 years. So sparrows have been sighted really after 5 years. Well, yes, again I quote an example of a London house sparrow project. During my lake regeneration talks, I really quote example of Thames River, of how it regenerated, how the entire biodiversity came back, how thriving waters brought back populations of seagull, albatross, and salmon fish, and so many other things. And again, Nomura building in the city center is a brilliant example of conservation of house sparrow. Not just house sparrow, but they have created nice green rooftop gardens. This is one homework that I would want to leave in this talk. Please go back and Google about Nomura building in city center. I intentionally did not include the photographs. They are really beautiful. They have created magic in a city center, how just terrace gardens can bring back a lot of biodiversity. So that's literally increased or attracted the population of butterflies, bats, sparrows, and so many other native local species. So one study suggested that there is a population increase by 30%. So we can do this in our houses, in our office spaces, and doable by us. So London House Sparrow project is a fantastic example of how everybody can contribute to the green spaces and bringing back the biodiversity. So if a biodiversity thrives, it's not just sparrows, it's other species also that thrive, that come back. Well, so what is the role of schools? Schools is like catching them young. Okay, so once they get fired, once that fire starts within them to create awareness, they really take it seriously. They go back home and implement. We can conduct DIY nest box making workshops there, and also resident welfare associations also play a very important role. They can keep nice nest boxes in apartment complexes, and they can encourage water balls to be kept everywhere in the green spaces, in open spaces where they can come. And it's time corporates start taking biodiversity conservation seriously into their CSR initiatives, and also promote sparrow friendly offices. I think Vishwa's office is one such brilliant example. You have very good green space with a lot of trees. So I really wish corporates also adopt to that style. And one study gave up this beautiful statistic that Infosys Bangalore campus has seen a 20% increase in sparrow numbers after they have started planting native trees and installing nest boxes. Well, so what is the call to action? One simple thing that all of us can do is install a sparrow nest box at home. And also, I suggest that whenever we are celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, or weddings, or anything, sparrow box can be a nice return gift. Instead of opting for other articles, gift a sparrow nest, and they come in various sizes in our budget, and that can become a beautiful gift. And we can install a sparrow box at home, place a water bowl outside your house, and try and reduce pesticide use, try and shift to more natural products, organic products, and participate in sparrow conservation programs. And once you participate, please do some buzz in social media. There's nothing wrong in showing off the good that you're doing. It's absolutely necessary. And it's most important to understand that biodiversity conservation means, not just house sparrow conservation, but we have to adopt an ecosystem based approach where house sparrow will become a keystone species, but in the process, the other flora and fauna also thrive. For example, all the insects and all the invertebrates, the butterflies, bats, and various kinds of birds and freshwater ecosystem are all part of one ecosystem, and they can thrive. I mean, they're all interdependent on one another, and if they can flourish well, our health and our future generations will also have a beautiful life ahead. So save not just sparrows, but all common birds and biodiversity. Use your rooftops, balconies to create greener spaces. And I would like to quote one activity that we have done at Narayanamma Institute of Science and Technology. So this picture that you see, the sparrow nest that are ordered from Amazon, and this was the first project. We really didn't know if sparrows would come in or not. We tied it like this, and I came back home, and a couple of us also tied it in our houses. And 6 months later, now we see birds coming into those nests, and they have laid eggs, and they've been there since 2 3 years. They keep coming and they keep going. It's such a simple thing to do, and they will thrive. And I have a beautiful video to show here. So this is, hydration matters, and sparrows really enjoy taking a bath, taking a dip in this water bowl. You can see this. It's right in front of our house at an entrance. So that's about it. Small actions make big impact, and together we can bring back the house sparrow.